I'm Engineer Hussein Mohammed from Ministry of I'm Engineer Hussein Mohammed from Ministry. I'm Engineer Hussein Mohammed from Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah.
Test. Yeah. Test. Test. Hello. 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 Hello.
Okay. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. خلاص أكره؟ باقي.
Test, 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 test.
John, please can we start? Because we have schedule.
Can I use this mic instead? Can I use this instead?
Yeah,
Even when it's off, it's
yeah.
working.
But
the way
please,
Test, test.
Uh, Good afternoon, everyone.
no, they will fix it for now. They will fix it. The sound.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. We're starting the session on open innovation. I hope you're enjoying the QRDI session so far. My name is Nada. I'm part of the innovation team at QRDI. And we'll have a panel discussion about the Open Innovation Program, but I wanted to give a quick overview about the program for those who are not familiar with the program. So the concept of open innovation is that we use this program to connect our local entities, whether government entities or the large local enterprises, with a global pool of innovators who can provide them with the technology solutions they need to address any of the challenges facing their organizations or their respective industries. And the purpose of this program is basically to, or mainly to build innovation capabilities within our local entities across all sectors to serve as test beds for piloting new technologies and also early adopters of technology solutions to enhance the competitiveness of our local entities, including our large local enterprises. As you see here, we've partnered so far with more than 25 local entities from different sectors, also launched more than 60 innovation calls or 60 innovation projects. And for those calls, we received more than 1,500 applications from local and international innovators. And we've completed so far around 30 projects. Some of them are still ongoing, and some have been already completed. And our panelists today will be sharing some of the successful outcomes of these projects. I would like also to announce that 3 calls were launched this morning, and they're now open for companies to apply and submit their applications. The first call is for the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. They're seeking innovative or smart solution for the challenge they have with the invasive birds, specifically the Mina birds. The second call is for MEDA Assistive Technology Center. They're looking for an innovative AI-powered translation system to enhance accessibility for sign language and also individuals with communication difficulties. And the third call is also for MEDA Center, and they're also looking for a smart assistive system with personalized solutions and tailored assistive technology recommendations. So these 3 calls are now open for companies to submit. I encourage all companies to visit our QRDI portal, read more about these calls, and apply or submit applications if they have any relevant solutions to any of these innovation calls. Now let's watch a short video for 2 of our program participants sharing their experience with the Open Innovation Program, and after that we can kick off the panel discussion.
I'm Engineer Hussein Mohammed from Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. So what made me participate in the program itself, it was a word that Ms. Nada Al-Awlaqi said in the meeting, in the brainstorming session, that think out of the box, think about a solution that you cannot purchase. So for me, this was like the time that we need to address this program and try to find solutions together. I think everyone must give a chance for the program. Us as an entity, we tried the program, we saw solutions that we could not purchase, and it was out of the box. You can customize your need, you can find a solution that you cannot purchase in the current market stage. So I think it's a very highly appreciated program and must be taken into consideration. For me, it was a long journey that reached to a successful story. So I encourage everyone, just keep it up. It's not an easy journey, but you will reach your target hopefully by the end of the line. To all entrepreneurs and startups, share with us your solutions, your ideas, your innovation. Take out the calls. I'm a successful story, and hopefully you're gonna be in the next.
Hi, I'm Jose Iralde. I'm Chief Strategy Officer in Hazard Food. Qatar has very specific conditions, so we cannot always just import technologies from abroad or things that work somewhere else. That's why we require to overtake some of those challenges that we have in Qatar, to localize, to tailor-make some of these technologies to make sure they work for us in our particular conditions. We are not a research and development specialist. So we found that this was the core contribution from QRDI Council, and this matches perfectly to find a full solution. One brings expertise, the other brings the other, and in whole we can provide a full solution that works, everybody bringing their expertise. Now, for example, one very recent that we have already delivered the results was about cultivating a crop which is very important for us, which is lettuce. Unfortunately, lettuce, it's not a vegetable that we are producing much in Qatar. only 1% of the lettuces that are consumed in Qatar are locally grown. And we, as the bidders, challenge them to be able to produce lettuce above 350 grams, because we knew that was a limit that was very difficult to surpass in Qatar. And the results were not only to do it, but to do it in a sustainable or a reasonably cost effective solution. So we managed to create something which is at a reasonable cost, and in some cases the solution ended up in 500 grams, which was a much bigger even expectation than what we had at the beginning. That has been really amazing, because we have so many challenges and we cannot not always look for them. And for us, it's very difficult even to find who are the best candidates to help us. That was provided by QRDI. I can feel like they are passionate about this, and what they are looking is people that are same passionate as them. So when you mix both together, people that willing to do things and to achieve objectives, and both of us will work as a team, it happens. So I think this has been the key of the success, and I think that's why not only Hassad, but also QRDI has asked again to repeat and to do more challenges. We have been working now until now in 3, and I wish in 3 years' time we can say we have been working in more.
And now I would like to welcome the moderator of this session, Johannes from Agorize, one of our key partners in this program, and to the stage. And our panelists from Ministry of Climate Change and Environment, Hassad and Matar, to kick off the panel discussion.
Thank you so much, Nada. And a very good afternoon and warm welcome to the QRDI Innovation Booth. My name is Johannes, and we're going to be talking about a lot of exciting things about how industries and ministries are leveraging the QRDI Open Innovation Portal, how to work with external innovators such as researchers, startups, scale-ups, in order to not just testbed, but also scale innovation and build the local Qatari industry further. Before we jump into all of these details, I'd love to maybe just pass the mic around to my fellow panelists to quickly talk about what they're doing, and also a few words on their organization for our foreign friends that may not be aware of the organizations that are here today presented.
So I'm representing the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, Department of Chemicals and Hazardous Waste. So I am the head of Chemicals and Hazardous Waste Licensing. So all the chemicals you see in the industry should come through me. This is a short intro.
Hi everyone, my name is Heather Hiat. I'm head of data and AI at the airport, but I also have the luxury of being secretary for our innovation board that we have at the airport. It's my pleasure to be working with QRDI. We've been launching a lot of innovation initiatives, some which have come to conclusion, some which are still in progress. Really looking forward to the discussion today.
And this is Jose Heralde, I'm Chief Strategy Officer in Hassad. As you know, Hassad is the government arm for food security in Qatar. So we are the arbitrators between the public and private sector to organize, to define, and to execute the key strategic initiatives in food security for Qatar.
Awesome. And my name is Johannes. I'm with a company called Agorize. We work with corporates and governments around the world to help them build and scale their startup and innovation initiatives. And very much excited to dive into some of these topics to talk about how things started, where are we today, and where do we foresee some of these solutions go in the future. So to just maybe dive right in, to start back where we started in the introductions of MOECC, I'd love for you to elaborate a bit more on what was that journey like. Why did you start leveraging the QRDI Open Innovation Portal?
So the journey started when QRDI came to present for us the innovation program was 2022. I was already working like 5 years in the department. Our department also is a supporting entity to the customs. So you can see our department working with the customs day-to-day basis regarding chemicals, how to monitor, detect, especially the hazardous chemicals.
When QRDI presented for us the idea, we had the concern. I was trying like for 5 years to look into technologies, devices, to address certain chemicals that's of an interest to the ministry, especially under the international environment agreements. So when we had the look, we had tried to search for solutions, we put tenders. What we were receiving was not helping us to purchase these devices. Again, as I said in my video, Ms. Nada, when she presented in the brainstorming session, the purpose of this program is to think out of the box. Technology that you cannot buy, you tried for several years, address your problem here. So I said, like, why not? Let it be the point of start for the innovation program.
Okay, and backstage you talked a bit about your journey as being one of the first government ministries in Qatar to leverage open innovation. If you don't mind, share a bit with the audience, what is that journey like? What are some of your learnings that you took away from this?
So I can say it's not easy. I encourage everyone, have patience. We had our ups and downs. The project almost took 2 years till we did the piloting and putting the scope of the work itself. And the innovation part for us as a ministry was new. So what's innovation? What should I review? How to even the calls when we received. It was like me, I'm used to tenders. In the tender, you know what you need to do, how you can assess. So the assessment itself for the innovation was a bit different. But taking me back to 22 and now, I'm a much different person. My experience is much different. And it was a very, very interesting journey. And we can say now it's a successful journey.
Thank you so much. Haider, maybe moving on to you with Mata. One thing I noted is that you have numerous call-outs happening at the same time. I'd love for you to elaborate a bit more on how did you pick the topics, how did you pick the challenges that you're making available to the external innovators?
Sure. So you're correct. We have 9 active innovations on our portfolio at the moment. And, you know, I'd really like you to think about, you know how you have BC and AD, right? There's life before QRDI and there's life after QRDI. So, you know, life before QRDI was typical, like many organizations, where there isn't a conscious intent to innovate. You as an organization may want to be innovative, but you haven't really consciously defined what that intention is. Why is it? Do you want press releases? Do you want to drive business transformation? Do you want to transform your industry? Do you want to create new products? When you ask that question about why do you want to actually innovate, you start to understand, do I have the right resources? Do I have the right prioritization frameworks in place in order to succeed? And I think the QRDI conversation was the right thing for us to make this a conscious intent, right? In Arabic we say to set our niyyah, right? And it was then that we really said, okay, we want to become accountable. We want to make sure that we're not living in this world pre-QRDI where it's survival of the fittest, right? Whoever has the most patience and perseverance will win. The one who you know, has a great idea doesn't necessarily win, right? So for us, it was about instilling the right institutions to measure the potential value, to look at what does it actually do in terms of align with our business priorities, and to make sure that what we're launching as innovation calls, it's going to drive, you know, if somebody's starving and they want meat and potatoes, we're giving them meat and potatoes, not coming to them to say, you know, here's a vitamin that will give you a boost, right? So we've got to make sure that we're driving the right outcomes.
And you talked a bit about some of the challenges as an airport that you're facing. How do you mind walking us a bit through this framework that you use, and how do you choose whether to build something yourself or to partner with someone that's there already that has the capabilities to leverage?
Sure. So, you know, I think we're quite fortunate that with Mittal we have quite a strong development capability when it comes to digital solutions, when it comes to AI, when it comes to data. But sometimes that can go to your head. You don't see the potential of partnering and leveraging further expertise. And also you've got to look at the speed at which you can build. So for us, we really look at 2 things. One, Do we have that capability? Do we think we can learn something by partnering? And also, will we deliver faster? So our decision really comes down to that. As well as one final thing, once you've delivered that innovation, you want to scale it. So is doing it internally the right decision? Because you'll be ending up with holding a baby for the rest of your life, whereas actually it made sense to partner with someone, they deliver a solution, and you can move towards support and maintenance rather than having to continuously develop and build something.
Thank you so much. Jose, moving on to you. You also, as Hassad, are one of the pioneering entities to start with open innovation here in Qatar. I'd love to walk us through a bit more on the behind the scenes. What was it like? Because I know you're in a bit of a unique situation as well. You have a lot of stakeholders you're working with and you're supporting. What was the behind the scenes like to align all these stakeholders to get started on this open innovation journey?
Yeah, so thank you very much. Basically, what we were new for this type of collaborations, because for us, we try things, we do things, we buy things, but we didn't know what to do. What we have are issues. For example, I joined in 5th of August, Hassad. The first thing that surprised me is that we do farming in Qatar. For all of you are living here, you know well, but the ones that don't, Qatar, during that period of the year, it's like a big oven or like a steam room, macro steam room. So it's really surprises how you can even do farming. And I went to one of our farms and I saw that we have a high-tech glass house, which works very well. Probably is the best type of facility in a weather like Holland that requires heat inside where there is cold outside. But we had a lot of heat outside and we wanted to cool inside. So what works somewhere else doesn't work here. So we have a very particular issues as Qatar, especially harsh climate, small market, and that's what we brought to the table. And we basically put everybody together. It was a brainstorming session in which we were like, okay, which problems do we have? Something that nobody can come here and solve. And it was a pool of ideas, some crazy ideas, some that we say, there is no solution for this. And some others that were looking like crazy ideas, and someone comes and say, actually there are solutions for this. Let's talk about it. So we put a lot of these ideas in common. We do short list. And it was a joint collaboration because we were launching issues. We were suggesting, can we do this? And then the researchers, the QRDI team were saying, that's feasible, that's not feasible. And then we put it on the table. That was a very good start point. After that, we say, okay, now that we have selected those, let's look outside, let's bring people, and let's listen for them what they offer.
Awesome. So I think some really great insights on sort of the journey and how we started. Now I'd love to sort of move on to more of the present, going back to MOECC. And this is a question really quite particular to you because as Agorize, we work with governments all over the world, and one of the issues that some ministries have is they feel the need to be seen as all-knowing. They have all the solutions to all the problems, but here you are as the ministry saying, okay, I have these problems, how can you help me? How do you balance this? How do you go around this issue when launching these call-outs?
So in general, when you are as government, there are always the comparison of the private sector. Look, the private sector is like developing. What you guys are doing in ministries to go within this development. So what happened when we were trying to develop the project, we also need to take in consideration to be fair. Also, when we are going to develop or need a device or consider putting a device, to take the aspect of companies as well. As we were discussing previous to the session, when we were developing the device, we said, before placing it, we need to know that I'm not going to damage the merchandise. The time taken for analyzing and detecting the chemicals should be less than 10 seconds. As you know, whoever imports through the customs, any small delay is a penalty on the company. So here we had proven that we could successfully develop a technology that can help the government. Not only we're talking today about MECC, also other agencies, as you saw in the videos, many other government entities, they were very interested in the device, the accuracy, and the time range for detection is just 10 seconds. So we're not going to damage any merchandise. We took the company's consideration truly, and we had implemented the device. Also, what we liked about the Open Innovation Program, when we received 10 calls, we had seen that every company has a different technology. So does it mean only the rewarding company is gonna be implemented? No. Currently at the ministry, we're also looking on the other technologies that has been presented to us, maybe for other applications. So what we need to know everything as a government entity, but how to apply it, we need to also consider the private sector's point of views.
Yeah, and this is really one of the key differences between tendering and open innovation, right? Because tendering is all about, I want you to do this, 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 and that, versus open innovation is like, I have this problem, I would like you for you to tell me what's the best way to get there, and that's where you're getting this diversity of proposals from. Really, really interesting. Haider, for you, you mentioned you have these 8 call-outs that you have, these 8 innovation projects. For the startups in the room and also for some of the other corporate innovation leaders, what does it look like after you've selected an innovator? What does the process look like? What does that journey look like that you take them on to test and then roll out that solution across your assets?
Sure. So one of the things that we did at Matar, and I'm not sure it's done everywhere, but we wanted to put ourselves in the shoes of the startup and really understand what does a good experience look like for them. Now, if you think about a startup, it's generally somebody who has a good career, who's left that career behind to try and build a solution for your problem. Have respect for that person, right? The typical experience of a startup is very much solve our solution for no money, and then we'll keep you hoping for a contract that never comes. For us, we didn't want that kind of relationship. What we wanted to do was, number one, when you're selected, yes, we need to sign a contract with you, but we want to bring you into the airport. We want you to love the problem, meet the people who will use your product. Let them fall in love with what you're creating. Let them share with you their pain points so you come up with a product that is meaningful and has a real shot of being scaled up. The other thing that we try to do is, as we're doing the innovation, we like to work on the business case in parallel, so that by the time the innovation is done, we have an approved budget to go in full scale. It is on the precondition that it's successful, but we're essentially paving the runway for a smooth takeoff, rather than the typical experience, okay, you did a good job, let's look at doing this in 2 years, right? And so for us, you know, justice is a big theme, working with a startup in the right way for the right outcomes to make sure our interests align and that they have a positive experience and want to come back and work with us again.
Very nice. And for Hassad, I mean, obviously food security, environmental impact, supply chains, all very critical problems. What role does OI help? Like, what role does open innovation play to address some of these topics for you?
Yeah. So innovation is basically is the essence of food security and all the future developments. And as you know, Qatar has very specific conditions. So we know we cannot be certain competitive unless we use innovation, something different. What is the challenge, for example, that we have? Because as a company who is thinking on the interest of Qatar, we have a very small market with a very particular conditions which are not the same somewhere else. So we need to overtake our problems with innovation. That's definitely. Our solutions were not there. Everything we will need to do it with innovation. And it's very difficult also for the size of Qatar to find people to come here and to solve our problems. So we need to also to help them, okay? Definitely they are dedicating the best years of their life, as you were saying, and we want that. So we need to incentivize them. That's why programs like the challenges with QRDI, I think that they are very important to attract this talent to work with us, to solve our problems in an innovative way. We know innovation will change everything. The way we eat will be changing. Unfortunately, we will not be eating meat in 30 years' time. We will use lab-grown meat. But that will change, and eventually innovation will be required to change the things. So what we are using now has nothing to do with what we will use in 30 years, and only innovation will define that.
Very clear, very clear. Maybe moving on a bit and talking about concretely some of the projects that you've worked on, where they're going, why are they important, what impact do you foresee? Maybe MOECC, starting again on your side, could you give us a quick update and what impact do you foresee some of these solutions having for yourself, but also the other ecosystem players that you are working with on this?
So a quick update. We had the piloting of the device April last year, and I'm happy to say, and within month from now, we're going to have the first procurement of the device in Qatar. So why for us it was a big importance having this device here. Earlier, some of the chemicals that we were trying to analyze or detect some certain persistent organic pollutants, we need to take the samples, we need to pack it, we needed to send it in other labs out of the country just to get the test result. So currently with the procurement of this device, we're not going to have any costs even on the ministry. The sampling can be done on site because it's a handheld device that can be driven around all around the country. So the procurement process is happening now, and we're happy also to add to this. We are not going to be the only ministry using it. I'm receiving calls now from different government entities that they want the device the same how we developed, and they are willing to customize more on the device itself. So the device hopefully is going to be here either by March or April.
Very exciting. What about you?
Yeah, sure. I'll give you a flavour. I won't cover all nine, but there's a quite an exciting technique called reinforcement learning. It would have been the big hype if generative AI wasn't so bright. Where we're trying to essentially, we can't expand our way of our capacity issues. Many of you will visit the expansion that we've had at the airport. We recently opened concourse D and E, which is very soon. The way Qatar Airways is growing and other airlines are choosing to come to Qatar, we have to find other solutions. So we're looking at reinforcement learning to give us efficiency and capacity, but also minimize what we call taxiing time. If you look at some of the flights that happen in Europe that are maybe an hour long, the emissions that they have just taxiing on the aircraft are sometimes bigger than the hour-long flight to get to their destination. So it's a major source of emissions. So that's really practically improving our efficiency, but also driving our sustainability agenda. That's just maybe one example.
From my side, very similar, aligned with my colleagues. We, for example, have the sample of the challenge about lettuce production. We have completed the first iteration during the winter time. We have been quite successful on that. Now we are following up, trying to improve, because the team is not just accepting the results, they are even saying, let's try more things, and let's also pass the summer times, which are more challenging, and then we will continue learning and improving in every season what we are doing. And not only that, we are already introducing them to our network of partners so that they can start thinking how to commercialize that. We are thinking also, like we were saying, maybe there are different types of ways of doing this, and we have a pool of talent which is adaptable, it's flexible, and they are hard workers, and they already have a very good experience in the country. So we are giving them new challenges. It's like, can you work on this? And that's the kind of attitude that we want to have. We want to create strong teams and to continue developing, because we will need more and more challenges and to continue growing.
Very nice. I was given the timer that I need to speed up a bit. Maybe just one quick one before I open the floor for questions. What are 3 things that fellow innovation leaders need to be aware of, need to put in place, that you can recommend them now that you've gone through part of this journey and already finished part of it as well, in order to have a successful open innovation program?
So it's very hard to put it in 3 words, but I will try to put it in awareness, clear, and time.
That was 3 words.
You should be aware of the idea, put a clear scope of work. Even when we were doing the assessment for the project, maybe it was not what we are looking for, but there was a clear solution. So the idea and the scope should be clear, and time. It's a difficult journey. You're not purchasing a device, you are developing, you're innovating a device. So the time is very necessary. Patience, patience, patience. This is 3 words.
Perfect. Love it.
I will probably, it's not a word, but I think it's a lesson. Something that we get taught in the QRDI training that's provided is to love the problem, not the solution. I think it's really, really important that you do that because so many times innovation just becomes, let me try all that software. But you don't address the underlying inefficiency. So it's really love the problem, not the solution is something, the message that I like to send out. Yeah.
I'm going to be very pragmatic. It's don't try to do things that are not natural. So even if you have amazing ideas, very complicated, very amazing, if the market will not take them, don't try to push them. They will never work unless the market is able to absorb them naturally. So don't try to push your ideas even if you think they are good. Try to understand the market and work for the market.
Perfect. With that said, I do have a few minutes left. Does anyone from the audience have any questions for any of our speakers? Questions, don't be shy. Yes, please. Can we get a mic?
Thank you so much for the discussion. It was very fruitful. Dr. Dua, University of Doha for Science and Technology. What do you take on people saying, or researchers or innovators saying in terms of submitting to the innovation grant, and then there are already pre-selected companies before we even submit? Is that true, or is it a myth? Just if you can enlighten us a bit on that perspective. Thank you.
Maybe I'll share my perspective quickly. That sounds like a lot of effort to put in to just pick somebody. I mean, there's typically for a call that you've just seen 2-3 months of prep work, and then work before that to convince people. But let the people from behind the scenes add their 2 cents to this as well.
Absolutely, and this is one of the beauties. If you remember, I said that in the video. One of our challenges is to find people that can bring something that has not been proposed to us. We are Hassad. We receive visits of people having the breakthrough every week with the same. I cannot tell you how many indoor farming companies I have met in the last 2-3 years. But I don't want someone to sell me their high-tech glass house that works very well in Holland. I want someone to build something for us, and that I cannot find it. That's why, for me, it was a music in my ear to hear that this innovation call was, because they bring people otherwise I will never hear for. And the process was super, super transparent. So that's why I would say don't think that that's happening. On the contrary.
Yeah, I'll just echo, it's a lot of effort to go through. And for us, the benefit of going through that pain is to reach global companies. If you look at who we've awarded companies from Singapore, India, Spain, the US. So we've really got a global reach, and that's the benefit of going through Agorize or QRDI, is to say, I'm going to find the best solution in the world, not just who I can meet.
I think it was the same process. Even when we were choosing the rewarding company, I think we went through 3 to 4 stages each time to make sure that this is the right company to be given. We did also interviews with the company, not once, maybe twice and 3 times. And again, we 3 of us, we agree. We wanted the company that can do. There was many amazing ideas, but for us it was like pen on a paper. So who's gonna give us the technology and can develop it to really procure it? For us, maybe it was the most successful, rewarding story.
I have time for one quick final question. Yep.
Brilliant. First, thank you all. It was lovely. I think this question maybe is more for Engineer Hussein. What we're doing right now is something similar to what you did as well, but hopefully it's not going to take 2 years, I hope. What we're doing is we're applying our solution, which is inventory optimization solutions in pharmaceuticals for hospitals. So we reduced medicinal waste. Now, we imagine we've done all the work, the scope of work, and now we're going through the process. If you had to give me any recommendations to go through the process and how to accelerate things, what would you tell me?
What would I tell? just cooperate with the company who's developing the solution. As I said, like in the 3 words, to be clear, sometimes we imagine things or we have more ambition, but we need to understand also what's the private sector is giving, what the developer himself is his maximum reach. So I think this is the point that can accelerate the project itself. For us, we took maybe 2 years because the chemicals that we were targeting, it was banned internationally. So getting samples was a bit difficult. But the solution itself or the device, it was ready. But the feed for the device, the chemical itself, we had a long process to find companies that can provide these chemicals so we can integrate it in the device itself. But again, cooperate with the developer. They understand the market and what they can give.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you to the audience for staying with us. Thank you to my panelists for all your insightful sharings. And if I guess anyone has any other questions, they can come and find you. Thank you so much again for joining us this afternoon.